the moment that my youngest learned, absorbed, understood compounding. And I do talk about this in that course, in the first course. And that moment was because we always did the allowance with them together. That core day was with them together. And my oldest was very judicious. It was a quarter, a quarter, a quarter, a quarter. It was always 25% across the board, splitting the money. I don't know why. That was just her nature. And my little one was and she started very young. She was in kindergarten at the time. And it took about 18 months or so, something like that. But one day she realized how much more Grace was getting. And she was like, I want that much
Mm.
money. I was like, well, this is why. Remember? And she was like, whoa. And so since that day, she has been putting in much more into invest. And she's quite the investor.
The light bulb, those are like the coolest moments watching your kids when you see that light bulb go off.
I think we just had that moment with John this past core day because I had given them each $25 to put into stocks. And so, and then they put a little bit more in. So they each have 50, 25 in Amazon and 25 in Apple. And it was over the course of a month that 50 became 55 or something like that. Like it compounded by 10% very quickly. So I pulled it up for Cassidy and I said, this is what happens when you really invest it. Remember, a month ago, we put this money in. And she goes, well, that's only $5. That's not a lot. And I go, in a month? Yes, it is. It's 10%. Later that day, I showed the same exact thing to John. And I said, look, it went up by $5 in 1 month. And he goes, well, let's take some of my invest cash and put it in there. I want it to grow that fast. And I said,
Winning.
well, if we take your money out of if we take your cash and put it in here, I'm not paying you interest anymore on that money. You are getting real interest from the real, investment. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's take $300 and put it in.
That's cool.
So we did. And he went
Amazing.
pretty big on Amazon. He asked my brother for some advice. And that was the winning moment when I was like, okay, this is what we were waiting for.
Amazing.
So it was exciting.
Amazing.
Yeah.